If you're thinking about extending or renovating your home in 2026, this is the question everyone asks first. How much is it actually going to cost? Not the optimistic figure, not the Google guess, the realistic number. I'm going to give you real figures, real examples, and a clear breakdown so you can plan properly and avoid any nasty surprises. If you're new here, I'm Paul from Lightbox. I help homeowners across the UK design extensions, renovations, and homes that actually work, both practically and financially. If you're planning to work on your house and want a clear, honest advice without the jargon, subscribe to the channel. Now, before we go any further, let me quickly explain what I'm going to cover in this video. I'm going to break this down simply and honestly. We will look at what actually affects the cost of a building project, current construction prices in 2026, the difference between standard builds and higher performance fabric first builds, the extra cost people often forget to budget for, and a worked example so you can hear how the numbers really stack up. By the end of this video, you'll have a much clearer idea of whether your plans and your budget actually line up before you get too far down the road. Now, let's talk about the costs. Most people start with a rough number in their head. It's usually something like 60 grand should do it. It's only a small extension. My neighbour did theirs for cheaper. But building projects don't work like buying something off the shelf. Every house is different, every site is different, and the way you choose to build has a massive effect on cost. That's why projects go over budget, not because people are careless, but because people start out without realistic figures. So what actually drives cost? There are three main factors that affect how much your project will cost. Number one, what you're building. A simple rear extension costs very different money to a complex renovation involving steelwork, structural alterations, or tricky drainage. Extensions and renovations have to connect to the existing buildings, and that's always more complex. So number two, how you're building it. Building to a minimum building regulations is your baseline. If you go beyond that, better insulation, better windows, better air tightness, costs go up, but so does comfort and long-term performance. And number three, where you're building. Across the Midlands, construction costs are generally lower than London and the South East, but labour costs are still rising and skilled trades are in a short supply. Access, ground conditions, and planning constraints all affect the cost. Construction prices in 2026. So construction costs have stabilised compared to a few years ago. Material prices aren't jumping around like they were during COVID and Brexit. Labour is now the biggest pressure point, especially skilled trades and good finishing work. So if you're planning ahead, a sensible assumption is 3 to 5% annual cost increases. If your project won't start for 12 to 18 months, that needs to be factored in. So cost per square metre. Let's talk about the figures everyone asks for. So standard construction, for extensions or new builds, built to current building regulations, they're typically looking between 2,000 to 3,500 per square metre. So compare this to fabric first or higher performance builds. If you take a fabric first approach, prioritising insulation, air tightness from day one, costs usually increase by around 15 to 30%. That pushes the cost up roughly to 2,300 to 4,500 per metre square. Now the benefit is a home that's warmer, cheaper to run, and far more comfortable all year round. And finally, renovations. So renovations can be cheaper per square metre if you're keeping most of the structure. A standard refurbishment might sit around £1,200 to £1,800 per square metre. But once you start improving performance, costs rise because you're working around an existing building which also has its added complexity. So the cost people often forget, and I see this all the time, the build cost alone is never the full picture. Most projects also need professional fees, typically around 10%, a kitchen budget, often between £8,000 to £15,000, bathroom costs if you're adding or upgrading them, typically between £5,000 and £7,500. People always forget the VAT at 20% on extensions and renovations. Now on new builds or a self-build, that's a zero VAT, and contingency, which you should always allow about 10 to 15%. If these aren't in your budget, you will definitely feel it later. Now, a worked example. Let's put all this into a real example. Imagine a single-storey rear kitchen extension measuring roughly 3 metres by 8.3 metres and typically around 25 square metres. This would be typically the type of extension that you would see across many family homes across the Midlands. So let's assume it's built to a good mid to high specification using a fabric first approach. So around £3,400 per square metre, the construction cost alone would be roughly about £85,000. Now add in your professional fees around 10%, which adds on approximately £8,500. Allow around £12,000 for a kitchen fit out. That brings the subtotal to about £105,500. On top of that, you need to allow for VAT at 20%, which comes in at around £21,100. And a sensible contingency at 15% adds roughly £15,800. Now, all in, that gives a total project budget of around £142,500. So for a well-designed, high-performing 25 metre square extension, you're realistically looking in the mid 140s. Now let's compare that to a basic building regulations comparison. If the same extension were built to basic building regulations without the higher performance specification, the total cost might come in closer to £118,000 to £120,000. The difference is largely down to better insulation, better detailing, and better long-term performance. Now, I know there's lots of people out there that will say, well, this is way too much. We built our extension a lot cheaper. Now, there are ways to save money, such as doing some of the building work yourself, maybe getting your contractor to build the shell and looking at finishing it at a later date. And people do use friends and family in order to carry out some of the works. Maybe you've got an electrician or a plumber that might be able to reduce the cost. And it's definitely worth using some of these. But I'm looking at a typical extension that we see across the board where people don't have access to this type of stuff. So where to save and where not to. So if budgets are tight, be smart about where you make your savings. I'd avoid cutting back on structure, insulation and air tightness, waterproofing, and professional design work. These are expensive or impossible to fix later. And let me just add, a good design can save you thousands in the long run. So areas where you usually have more flexibility are kitchens and bathrooms, internal finishes, landscaping, and some mechanical system. You can upgrade finishes later. You can't easily upgrade the bones of the building. So hopefully this gives you a clear picture of what projects like this actually cost in 2026. If your budget is well below these figures, it's worth rethinking the size, specification, or timings. If your budget fits comfortably, then focus on good design, not cutting everything back to the bare minimum. Now, if this video has helped, please subscribe to the channel. I share practical advice on extensions, renovations, and building better homes. And I'll see you in the next one.